The gerrymandering, the changing of rules to maintain power has been the things of epic legend in North Carolina the last decade. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, we definitely are the lab for the far right to see what they can get away with.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first little episode of Fair Fight NC, as in Fair Fight, North Carolina. I am Bobby Jones, president of Veterans for Responsible Leadership, and I'm here with Mr. Scott Peoples, who will be able to introduce himself more thoroughly. But the reason we're doing this is because with all the political unrest you're seeing around the country here in the last few years, almost decade now, different areas of the country are being treated differently and seeing different things. But no state, in my humble opinion, has been as volatile and as critically looked at as the state of North Carolina, which is where Scott calls home. So that being said, Scott, I just want to ask a very simple question as people get to know you and where we are. What have you seen that concerned you the most here in recent years in the great state or Commonwealth of North Carolina?
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. Hey, everyone, I'm Scott Peoples. First, I'm a Army veteran. I served here in North Carolina with the 82nd Airborne Division, and married and raising my two kids in this great state in Raleigh. And the thing that really wanted to make me get involved the most, what I've seen in North Carolina, it is, I mean, we are the most purple state in the country or up there. It's 50-50 down the line. You can see that in some of our most recent state Supreme Court elections that, with 5.5 million votes, been decided by anywhere from 400 to 700 votes. And I just, the purpose of Veterans Responsible Leadership and, I feel, a democracy is just having a fair chance. Everyone, every 2 to 4 years in an election, everyone should feel like they can go to the ballot box. They campaign for the candidate that they want, get involved as much as they want. And then, your vote is equally counted across the state, and it's free and it's fair, and we can all trust the results in the end, and then the loser will concede. It's not that's not wild to think that's how our democracy is supposed to work, and that if we elect people with integrity across all levels, that's the way it should work. But in North Carolina, we've really seen. I mean, both parties are culpable. Back in the '90s and early 2000s, the Democratic Party held the majority in the state legislature and had opportunities. There were bills put forth to put fair map bills to get independent redistricting commissions, but the Democratic leadership at the time decided that would, potentially hinder their power, so they rejected it. And then after the wave in the 2010 election, the Republican legislature took over for the first time in decades and instantly showed their character. And in the last 15 years, have been drunk on power and rigged the state for gerrymandering more than any other state in the country. And most recently, in the last election, the Democrats actually won more votes across statewide in the House and state Senate, and the Republicans have or one vote short of, or one seat short of a supermajority in the House and have a supermajority in the Senate. So, with
That brings up a point I want to definitely drive home that we'll get into in future episodes. But the gerrymandering, the changing of rules to maintain power has been the things of epic legend in North Carolina the last decade. It's been unbelievable. I mean, governors losing power because the legislature doesn't want the opposing power. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And it seems to be a lab for other political groups around the country.
Oh, definitely. I mean, some of the most egregious Supreme Court cases and rulings. I mean, just a few years ago, Moore versus Harper with the independent state legislature theory came right out of the North Carolina State House. We're trying to give supreme power to the or the state legislature to be able to overturn an election result and submit the electors they want for the candidate that they want, and that North Carolina, and that's just. And I got friends that live across the country that are watching the news and like, what in the hell is wrong with your state? Why is every month I turn on, there's a massive election scandal or
Yep.
crazy court case? And yeah, we definitely are the lab for the far right to see what they can get away with. And all we're asking fair is a fair maps, a fair fight, and a fair shot to elect the people we want. each election, and then if you lose, you tip your cap and you go on to the next election. That's the way it should work.
Excellent. Well, Scott, we'll be getting into this more over the weeks to come. But the bottom line is, hey, you as a citizen, you as someone who votes, you should care about this all over the country. Your vote should matter. The person that has the most power should be the voter, not the people in power trying to maintain it. So join us on this journey, would you? And we'll be happy to take questions and answer those as we go along. But thank you very much, Scott.
All right, thank you, Bobby. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.